Artem. How are you today?
Hello, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you. How are
Very
you?
good. Very good, thank you. And I understand you're in Dublin today,
I am, yes, live in Dublin since 2016. Yeah,
where the weather is nice. It has been a very mild November, hasn't it?
fantastic. Yeah, what we would call Irish summer.
That's it. So, if you want to kick off, Artem, redesigning your daily activities to reach your goals, and we'll have a chat with you after the presentation.
Of course, yeah. So let me introduce myself very quickly, and I'll share my screen in a few moments. So my name is Artem Petsyukha. I am Russian. Live in Dublin since 2016, as I just said. And before moving to Ireland, I worked in multiple positions, multiple places, corporations mainly, B2B. And in the last couple of years, individual coaching is what I do for living and develop a fintech startup. So now let me share my screen. 1 second. Hope it. Yeah, I think you should see it now. So how do you redesign your daily activities to reach your goal? So it may sound easy or simple or complex, depending on where you are. And I'm sure you have tried something successfully, maybe not as successfully. So now let me walk you through some of the ideas I had based on my experience, based on my choices I made in the past. So first, let me ask you a couple of questions. Perhaps some of you have realized, and especially this is a 2020 is probably the year of questions. So do you challenge your choices? Are you happy with your career path? Do you sometimes feel stuck or maybe low motivation? Or maybe you would be willing to appreciate your achievements, but you no longer do. And that's okay, and that's normal. So I do it time to time as well, so we're all human. So let's figure it out. Why is that? Because it's maybe obvious, and maybe you get used to some of the questions, but it's not what you would want to have in the end. So what will you get in the next 25 minutes, more or less? So I will present you with 10 ideas worth trying right now. You can do it today. So now none of them are too complex. And you will get energy, confidence, and hopefully clarity and focus for reaching your goals faster or in a more efficient way. So just one warning, this is not a how-to guide. So if how-to guides work, you would probably have read one or two, and then you wouldn't be here today. So what I asked you to do, my request is that out of this presentation, you just choose one idea that resonates most. You commit trying later today, maybe tomorrow morning if it fits, and you take responsibility for results. In case you would want me to keep you accountable, drop me a note. I'm happy to have a conversation with you tomorrow or on Monday, how it goes, how are you doing? So to start with, let me tell you very briefly my personal story. So for me, the ideas I'm about to talk today, it has started in 1997. So you may question why. And that was the year I was about to enroll into my first year at my university. And believe it or not, at that time in Russia, commercial advertisement was non-existent. And I do remember how first commercials appeared, and it has always been fascinating for me how this affects people's choices. And I became curious how people make their decisions at all, how they think, how it is basically designed, how our mind works, and what's the best next thing to do, how to make the optimal choice. I have asked these questions many times before I could start connecting any dots, and then I have accumulated all the separate answers. And these answers today now make my personal, what I would call lifestyle system. And I call it anti-yoga. So you may question, oh, why this stupid name or why this weird name? So for me, it is not about something against. I do love yoga. The challenge I have and the challenge I had in the past, if there is something great I should do, but I have never tried, it is very hard to start. So if you've never done yoga and you want to start from Monday, or you have never run 10 kilometers or any running at all, and you commit to, okay, Monday I start running 10K every day, or maybe on Mondays. So it would be very hard to do unless you have done 8K every Sunday in the previous life. So the other The other principle would be, some people may call it a shopping principle. So some of the people shop asking, oh, would it be good if I buy this? That's one question to ask. The other question would be, would it be bad if I don't buy it? So if you apply this principle to your daily thinking and daily choices, that would basically make the couple of ideas behind what I call anti-yoga. And for me, anti-yoga is not because of it's something bad, or yoga is something bad and my thoughts are something good. So it's like, if you think of Italian cuisine, so where it starts, it starts with antipasti, correct? So it's the perfect starter. So what I would call these principles, these ideas that I'm about to present, is where you start. And I don't know where you are personally, so maybe you are well ahead of this initial idea. That's quite okay, and that's fine. So every idea, there is another idea behind. But as I love to give an example, the word priority, when it appeared many years ago, it only had a singular form. So if you think that you have 10 priorities or 20, it doesn't work. So there is always one right next thing. So now let me walk you through the model itself. So how I see this is, first of all, you have to understand, and yeah, you may challenge, you may think, oh yeah, we know all this. You may know the words, but do you really know how your mind works? Do you really know how your body works? Do you really know how to properly and efficiently breathe, sleep, exercise, walk, think? And are there any problems or barriers in this for you? So I have selected 10 of the ideas from this model, and there are basically 3 layers. So the first one is mind and body. The second is energy flow. For example, just to give you an idea, so you may say, oh yeah, energy, we know about it. So unless you have really explored the topic, and if you ask, what would be the easiest idea you can give us to get more energy? So for me, it's not the question of how to get more energy. It's question how to fix the holes that you are losing your energy through. So if you think about something else in the scheme you see now on screen, so challenge yourself thinking, do you really understand how this works? If you do, my congratulations, you're on the way to the better decisioning and better lifestyle. So perhaps you would want to explore some of this together with me. So start with something very simple, breathing. So we all breathe, and it's obvious, and that's you do without even thinking about it. Question is, do you know techniques how to breathe better? Do you know how this affects your mood? Or do you know how this affects your lifestyle? One exercise I could suggest, hold your breath every morning as long as you can. Next week, add 10 seconds. As simple as this. So this is what I would call, based on anti-yoga principles, the simple next right thing to do. If you do this, great. You find next exercise and breathing that you could add to your collection of exercises. Clear benefits. You would feel relaxed, you will resist bacterial infections, and you definitely will live longer. So now nutrition. Again, may sound super easy. And you may have read about fasting, diets, and everything. And if you have not paid enough attention in the past, it would be quite challenging if you say, okay, so from Monday, I do start healthy lifestyle. I will only eat grains and good proper combination of vegetables. I'll subscribe to Happy Peer online course, and I'll do this, and this. It rarely works. So if I give you just one idea, it would be, yeah, honestly, it is 2 in 1. Eat less sugar, drink more water. And not just drink more water, or drink 2 liters. So it's quite challenging to sustain. So just drink 1 glass of water in the morning. Is it simple? You would be surprised that how good effects you will see immediately, maybe from day 1 or 2 or 3. So you do not need to do this for a year or for a month to see the results. So if some of you have headaches, you will get less headaches. So you will get better mood, and obviously you will just feel a lot better if you start a day like this. Same about eating less sugar. Just do it. If you next time you just find yourself with the teaspoon of sugar in your hand. Just don't add sugar. As simple as this. Exercising. Again, if you run daily, my congratulations. That's what I do now. A year ago, I couldn't run for 2 minutes. So where I started. So did I just one Monday decide that I will go for a run and then run? No, it never worked like this. So what I dare you doing, so just choose one exercise, squats, star jumps, plank, and make it 1 minute daily, 1 minute. If you say, I don't have time, sorry, I don't believe that you do not have 1 minute to live a better life. And next week, you can add it another minute. You can add another exercise. I won't even mention benefits. You probably have read it by now anyway, and I don't think it's worth even highlighting. So now sleep. What would be the one single idea that I would consider the main one to improve your sleep? The idea is as simple as no electronic gadgets, no screens, 1 hour before bedtime. So if you do it, you will see the difference the next morning, believe me. And the challenge is, if you repeat it daily for a week, maybe a couple of weeks, you can challenge yourself to add 30 more minutes. So now 90 minutes before bedtime, no screens. The benefits are obvious. You will not only reduce blood sugar, but you will understand next morning your thinking just became sharper and clear, and you are just spending less energy to reach your goals. So the next one, emotions. So perfect topic to discuss in the context of anti-yoga. What would be the main single idea about emotions, unless you have explored the topic before? What I have learned about emotion intelligence on the emotional coaching course recently is that every single emotion has its time vector. So believe it or not, if you never thought of it, maybe quite challenging. If you did think, just try to pay it a little more attention. So every emotion you experience, could be happiness, could be sadness, could be frustration, it has a time vector. And the more emotions you have, having, for example, time vector looking into your past, the more energy you direct into your past. So if you direct your energy into your past, I doubt your future will benefit. So observe your dominant emotions. Figure it out where they are directed. Is it past? Is it present? Is it future? And learn what these emotions are telling you, because emotions will stay until you hear. So if you don't hear, they will keep coming back. There is a story behind each and every emotion. And if you know your dominant one, I encourage you to at least Google it and understand what it means, what it tells you. So if you understand the message, you will better understand not just yourself, but others, and you will restore your energy flow. That's quite simple. So now the adjacent part, letting go. If you think of nature, for example, there is a perfect picture on the right. If it's raining, so do trees complain? Would they benefit from more sunshine? If it's night, do flowers kind of feel sad? Do they keep whatever grunging and saying, oh, I wish it is sometime? No. And so we have to learn from nature if you want. So inspect and let go of your deepest regrets, because this is the knots you have to untie anyway. Unless you name, meditate, or embrace, choose whatever works for you. So sometimes just thinking of it, understanding it, naming it properly already reduces your energy drainers, and benefits are obvious. So it's you will feel peace with yourself. You will get more time, because you will literally we will spend less time on complaining and regretting. You will just look at in your future or work on your goals, and you will have more energy to achieve this. So now money. Another topic I often have in my coaching career and coaching practice. So people say, oh yeah, it's something I want to speak about. Definitely, I want to reach this amount or this amount. The only idea I would offer you today is think of money as a resource, not a goal. Because the moment you start thinking of money as a goal, so you say, oh yeah, I want to start earning X, whatever it is for you, could be 20,000, could be 100,000, could be 1 million a year, doesn't matter. The moment you see it as a goal, the next step is just setting it a higher goal, more money, more money. Question is, can you shift the perspective? If you look at this from the perspective of resource, it will be a lot easier for you to use money as energy flow, rather than seeing it as a challenge, and then you'll beat yourself if you didn't reach it, and so on and so on. So just build healthy expectation, and just you will feel this freedom and less attachment to money. Creativity. Creativity is a special one, because if you ask, and especially those of you who have kids, you may say, oh yeah. So every Sunday we will play with my kids and I feel so creative. To me, it is definitely not enough. You will have to choose to be creative, and not just choose, you have to schedule creativity into your calendar, because in your daily routine, you will not only forget to try being creative, but you will do the opposite. You will run the same path, you will do the same stuff, you will keep doing what you have been doing for the last years. And if you do the same, how could you expect to achieve something new? A couple of ideas to play, either play incomplete figure with your friend or family member or a kid, so whatever works for you, or try to repurpose a product. Whatever you see in your room, list 10 ideas, how would you repurpose it? Just do something differently, not the main purpose it serves. And the more often you do, and there are hundreds of exercises to boost creativity, you can't underestimate. You will encourage not just self-expression, you will flourish, you will develop new ideas, and you will much more easily sort out all these obstacles. Now, thinking. So thinking is what we do from the moment we wake up till the moment we, and sometimes even longer, so we cannot even sleep because we think of something. So all the day long, all our lives, do we really understand how it works, how our mind works, how we think? And the idea I offer you today, understand and challenge your biases. One bias specifically, or two biases I have on this page, is negativity bias, just seeing bad things as more important. The more you pay attention to something bad, the more your mind absorbs the way, yeah, so let's find the next one. So what's wrong? What's wrong here? What's wrong there? And then some time later, you find yourself that you just pay more attention, and you think that what's bad is more important than what's good. The adjacent one, confirmation bias, or the ostrich effect. So you will see what you already think you know or agree with, and just try not to see the other ideas. So what you could try doing the next time you want to disagree with someone, just tell yourself, by definition, there is 10% truth in what I just heard. Even if you hate what you just heard, even if you feel whatever emotion you have, believe it, there is always at least 10% truth from your perspective. From the other side, of course, it is 100% truth. But this would be a good opportunity to challenge the biases. And finally, mental traps. The 10th idea I offer you today is about mental traps. And the point is that at least many people handle with, and they try to control everything. If you try to control everything, this usually rarely succeed. You will rarely succeed. But how you deal with it, and it is not directly addressable, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd just have whatever push button, accept that you do not control everything, and from this moment you no longer just bother about it. So what you would want to do is two exercises, two ideas. First is just push and embed your self-care and play into daily routine. This will just build other patterns and other thought patterns and other, let's say, attitude in your mind. So you will not just feel about controlling next time, because play is less about control. It's about losing control sometimes, purposefully losing control. And also the connected side is learning to say no. Because when you try to control everything, in most cases, you would want to control more and more and more. So obviously you have limited time, you have limited energy. And if you still remember my idea about priority, singular form, you should have singular priority. So ideally, other ideas should get no. And if you do this, at some point, you will start seeing that you either delegate more or you are not bothered that much if you don't control something. And especially in 2020, when people are, I don't find the right word for this, but pretty much frustrated and concerned about not being able to control the situation. Or I cannot walk beyond 5 kilometers. I cannot fly to another destination. I cannot go to vacation. Yes, just accept it. So to me, it's that easy. Through accepting and through losing control, you'll get more time that you can use on achieving your priority and your goals. You will get flexible mentally and physically. And obviously, you will build space for your important goals. So now you remember this story I told in the very beginning about 1997 and Russian ads. So since then, my early career starts. So I worked as a journalist, as a sales manager, as a web designer, as a VP of business development. And I wish I have learned these ideas a lot earlier, because these would be a lot help in my career. And I wish it is helping your career too. If you want to explore it further, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or go to my website. I'm happy to share the slides, answer your questions, and discuss this topic otherwise. So wishing you all the best and have a great weekend ahead. Yeah, I think that's it. Kevin.